From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, May 2nd, 2015. Silver is trading at $16.15 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,178 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $235. Antiwar.com reports Saudi warplanes attacked a residential district in the Yemeni capital city of Sana'a yesterday, killing at least 10 civilians and wounding scores of others. The strikes sent civilians fleeing the neighborhood into the surrounding area. The Yemeni state news agency, Sabah, reported 20 civilians dead and 50 wounded in the incident, and also cautioned the toll might rise because they are still recovering people from the rubble. This is the latest in a long line of Saudi airstrikes against residential areas in the country, as well as refugee camps, a policy which has killed several hundred civilians over the course of the war. In addition to the civilians killed directly in the war, the final toll is likely to include a large number of civilians killed because of food and medicine shortages caused by the Saudi naval blockade of Yemen. ExpressCoin is the best choice for buying Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin, and more. ExpressCoin prides themselves on their customer service, so much so that the back end on the website should allow them to be even more focused on your needs. Get your cryptocurrencies with money order, check, wire transfer, or cash deposit. Get started at expresscoin.fppradio.com. That's expresscoin.fppradio.com. UPI reports the number of U.S. military servicemen and women who claim to be a victim of sexual assault dropped substantially over the last 2 years, according to a Pentagon study. The Pentagon estimated about 19,000 military personnel were on the receiving end of unwanted sexual contact in 2014, a 27% decline from the 26,000 estimate in 2012. However, the Pentagon said the number of military personnel who reported retaliation as a consequence of reporting a sex crime remained unchanged, possibly indicating fear and other intimidation factors deterring some victims from reporting sex crimes still exist. Of those who reported sexual assaults in 2014, about 78% said the incident occurred during military service, a 16% increase over the same period in 2013. The report also said about 1 in 4 victims made some sort of report to military authorities, a record number. The report said, quote, "The estimated 25% reporting rate in fiscal year 2014 is the highest ever recorded for the military services. When service members who experienced sexual assault came forward to make a report, the department can provide victims with support and hold offenders appropriately accountable." The report was sponsored by the Department of Defense and conducted by the RAND Corporation. The report concluded the report shows that in fiscal year 2014, the estimated prevalence of sexual assault decreased across the department, and that the estimated proportion of victims choosing to report the crime has increased to an unprecedented level. For over 35 years, Roberts & Roberts has been a trusted source for buying and selling your investment-grade precious metals. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and permanently removed the minimum purchase order for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on investing and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 850-478-5270 or online at rrbi.co. NPR reports the death of Freddie Gray was a homicide, and Baltimore Chief Prosecutor Marilyn J. Mosby says 6 Baltimore police officers now face criminal charges that include second-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter. Mosby announced the charges Friday morning, citing her office's thorough and independent investigation and the medical examiner's report on Gray's death. She said warrants were issued Friday for the officer's arrest. The city's recently elected state attorney, Mosby, detailed a range of charges against the officers, with offenses ranging from 1 count of second-degree murder and 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter to assault and misconduct in office. The most severe charges were leveled against Officer Caesar R. Goodson Jr., identified as the driver of the van that transported Gray to the police station. The charges against Goodson include second-degree depraved heart murder, which carries a maximum penalty of 30 years in prison. The investigation by the prosecutor's office found that there had been no reason to detain Gray and that his arrest was itself illegal. Mosby said that the knife that police officers found on Gray turned out to be legal. After announcing the charges, she noted her own ties to the police community, including her mother, father, and grandmother, who were police officers. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.